Dallas, and we're joined by our senior insider, Shams Charania. So, Shams, how did the Mavericks decide that now was the time to let go of general manager Nico Harrison?
Like at the start of the season, the Mavericks felt was a tailspin. A 3-8 start. If it was flipped, if we were looking at 8-3, Nico Harrison would not be fired. But he set the standards of competing for a championship. He said after making the Luka Doncic trade that time will tell about whether he was right. He said even in April after the Kyrie Irving injury that he was going to miss most of the season with, that they're going to have championship contention ability this season. It's been neither. They've been one of the worst teams in the NBA. And the Mavericks and owner Patrick Dumont took the first step in personally accepting accountability of the potential mistake that they made and agreeing and admitting the mistake that they made in trading Luka Doncic away 9 months ago. And as one source told me today, listening to our fans and what the fans have wanted has been an outcry. And so that process starts now. They can't unwind it to get Luka Doncic back, but the start of taking accountability has begun in Dallas.
Okay, so they're flipping to a new page here within the Dallas Mavericks organization. And Shams, oftentimes there's videos that are circulating online that we sort of put to the side. They don't mean much. But right now, there's a video online of Patrick Dumont, and there's a fan who's wearing a Luka Doncic jersey. And there's a little bit more to this story. What exactly is going on there?
Malika, within this conversation with the fan and this interaction that Patrick Dumont, the Mavericks governor, had is, I'm told he told the fan that we're going to be taking accountability. We made a mistake and we're going to do the right thing. And that obviously ended up being Nico Harrison being fired here Tuesday morning. And I'm told Patrick Dumont held meetings all day Tuesday and told staffers he's accountable as well, admitting he's responsible as well for what's happened. And that was giving Nico Harrison the green light. It was Nico Harrison's trade. It was his idea. He's the one that came up with this, but he somehow convinced Patrick Dumont got alignment internally on executing this. And Patrick Dumont took accountability that he was the one that was also liable with giving the green light. And now the unwinding process begins for the Mavericks.
So this fan sort of becomes symbolic for the larger Mavericks fan base and what Patrick Dumont is saying that he is going to do moving forward. Shams, thank you very much for that insight. Please do not go too far. You mentioned the statement that Patrick Dumont released. This is what it said in part, right? Quote, no one associated with the Mavericks organization is happy with the start of what we all believed would be a promising season. You have high expectations for the Mavericks, and I share them with you. When the results do not meet expectations, it is my responsibility to act. I understand the profound impact that these difficult last several months have had. Our goal is to return to winning basketball to Dallas and to win championships. Now, it's been 282 days, and every Dallas Mavericks fan has been counting, since Luka was traded to Los Angeles in the middle of the night. And since then, the two teams, they've been at the center of this trade and have gone in two different directions, right? Dallas has played in 44 games since that deal, won just 16 of them. Meanwhile, the Lakers, they made the postseason. They're 30-16 in their regular season games during that same span. And of course, hindsight is 2020, but it's hard not to start to compare the start Luka's gotten off to with the year Anthony Davis has had. AD, of course, has been injured. He's averaging 20 points, 10 boards. On the surface, that's fine, until you realize Luka's putting up 38 and 8. And you mentioned the injuries. Well, this season, yes, but also last season, the injury bug bit too. Since arriving in Dallas, Davis has missed 30 of the 44 Mavericks games. And as for Luka, he's played in 35 since that deal. And there's no better trio to help dive into this decision further than our senior writer, Brian Windhorst, our do-it-all analyst, Chiney Ogumake, and our reporter covering the Dallas Mavericks, Tim McMahon. Brian, I am going to start with you here. What's been the reaction that you've been hearing from around the league and within the organization?
The Mavericks had to do this deal today, not this deal, but this move today to save their brand. They were suffering deeply within their own market, and it was negatively affecting their players. The idea that this trade was controversial, we knew from the second after Shams hit that tweet last February. But the way that it's been managed, particularly by Nico, has been terrible. The idea of trading Luka Doncic is a controversial one, but you can make a basketball case for it. I don't think it's a winning case. You can make a case for it. What Nico has said to sell it to the fan base has been a complete failure from the day after it happened, and that is why it got to this position.
And I want to dive into what he said, because Nico Harrison not only put pressure on himself by making this move, but he also induced it by what he said. He said, I'll be judged by wins and losses. They're currently 3-8. He said, we're going to build a culture of winning. They're the lowest scoring team in the NBA right now. Fortune favors the Bulls, well, right now it doesn't look like fortune is on his side. And overall, in my experience on the court for basketball decisions, this has been the most catastrophic, probably, series of unfortunate events as it pertains to someone's decision making. And I know that there are some circumstances out of his control. Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, their availability, but still, you're supposed to go out there and give your team a better shot by constructing a roster that works. And right now, having Cooper Flagg play the point guard position, albeit knowing that they're trying to make parallels to other stars that have grown quickly, seeing just a number of them not doing as well as they should have been to start the year, this makes sense, like you said, to try to save the season and get the fans back and, bought in.
But that's stunning. What you're saying, Brian, is that public perception got so bad that the Dallas Mavericks felt that they needed to make a move.
It was affecting the way their players were playing.
Was it? Is that what was happening, Tim, around the organization, the feeling around them the past 9 months?
Malika, PJ Washington steps to the free throw line in the fourth quarter last night. They are clinging to a one-possession lead, and the fire Nico chants get started. They continued every Mavericks trip to the free throw line thereafter. Those have been going strong essentially since early February when that trade was made. There are more Luka jerseys in the audience, as you saw, even Lakers Luka jerseys, than there are Cooper Flagg. Nico Harrison was the focal point for Mavericks fans. That was not healthy. That was not productive. The Mavericks players felt that they were at a home court disadvantage. These people don't want us to win, one player said. And he was right, because that's how badly they wanted Nico Harrison to be fired. They wanted him to, and it's not bringing Luka back, but this does at least give the fans a chance to say, hey, Luka's not coming back. We have Cooper Flagg, and the franchise a chance to pivot into the Cooper Flagg era, not this 3 to 4 year championship window that Nico thought he created.
I think you will see some players in the league come out in defense of Nico Harrison. We've already seen it a little bit. Draymond Green came out in his podcast yesterday before this firing and said that because, in a vacuum, there is some unfairness to it that you're firing a guy with his two best players on the sideline. But this was about relieving pressure. Like, it was being difficult for the Mavericks to live in their own city. It was being difficult for Patrick Dumont. He is in the middle of a game. By the way, Giannis is in town. It's in kind of an important game. The owner of the team is spending time during the game trying to explain to a fan who's furious. And like you said, Malika, extremely symbolic. Everybody in that arena cared more about what Patrick Dumont had to say than they did about this game that involved it down to the last second with one of the biggest stars in the game. And that right there, because that's a reality Patrick Dumont was living in, he had to do something to relieve the pressure. Typically, you would say you would not want to answer to the mob. In this case, I'm not sure they had a choice.
In the short term, the question is, ultimately, what does the firing of Nico Harrison do? But this is just step one. There's a lot of steps that the Dallas Mavericks organization needs to do to rebuild this trust with fans and this love, this deep love that they have for Dallas Mavericks basketball. There's questions about what's next. We're going to get to them a little bit later in the show, but I want to turn now to a developing story. Joel Embiid, he's listed as out tonight against the Celtics with right knee soreness. He will be evaluated by doctors. Now, remember, this is not the knee that Embiid has had trouble with over the last couple of seasons. He's played in 6 of a possible 10 games this year. Bringing back Shams here, how concerning is this latest news for Philadelphia?
Look, it's concerning enough for both players. Will be meeting, both Joel Embiid and Paul George will be meeting with their doctors and their shared surgeon, Dr. Jonathan Glashow, tonight before the game. And it's right knee soreness for Joel Embiid. It's the opposite knee, like you just said, Malika, than the one that was surgically repaired in the offseason. But Joel Embiid will be examined by doctors tonight, and the Sixers will get a better understanding of what this is. He's had that left knee issue over the last year or so, couple years. And so could this be overcompensation? The Sixers will be finding out shortly. But Paul George has also been out for this team to start the season. My understanding is he's getting closer and closer. And it's going to be about whether he can get his leg strength back to where they want it to be, where they need it to be for him to make a full return.
Yeah, because Philadelphia has shown some bright spots with their young players this year, but they need their stars back in order to contend and even compete, really, in the Eastern Conference. Shams, we're keeping you busy today, so please do not go too far. We need you for the rest of the show. Still to come, election of games. We saw the most game-tying or go-ahead buckets in the final 75 seconds of the fourth quarter or overtime on any single day since 2007. And so, my friends, any one of these games could have started the show today. Where the heck do we start?
So many good options. I mean, Wemby going nuclear at the end.
I feel like a basket with 0.4 of a second happens once a decade.
All
I
right,
agree.
So does that mean we are going to start with the Miami?
We vote Miami.
Heat? We vote Miami. Well, let's pick this one up in overtime here, Brian. 1 minute left. The Heat up by 1. Jaime Jaquez gets in the lane. Turnaround jumper.
That was good defense.
Miami up 3. So 6 seconds left. Still 3-point Heat lead.
How does he get the ball? How does Donovan get the ball? How does he stay in bounds?
Gets it in the corner, can't get it to go, but Donovan Mitchell is here. Rebound, sprints to the corner, hits the 3.
That's a 1 in 10 shot? What do you think, 1 in 10?
1 in 10 over the top of a closing Khalil Ware. So the game is all tied at 138, and we thought that we were going to have to make a cup of coffee and head to a second overtime. 0.4 of a second left. Heat inbounding. No! Andrew Wiggins on the cut for the game-winning alley-oop.
How about this pass by Nikola Jovic? It's a great finish, but what a great pass.
Play design. Here's Spoelstra.
I had that play on my card listed as CQ for 4 years. So when it got to that point, Quinny said, hey, we should run that. And I said, you know what? There's no better person than to diagram it than the one who came up with the dang thing.
He was not lying. Let's break down the play, the game winner, because that play was perfection. Look, the baseline is cleared out. The paint is cleared out by Jaquez and also Norm Powell. But this right here is the real MVP. A beautiful screen by Davion Mitchell to free up Wiggins so that he can have a cruise line all the way to the basket. Beautiful pass by Jovic, y'all. I know we have one in football, but that right there might be the NBA's version of a miracle in Miami.
Well, Miami gets us started here, and they get the win. But before last night, Sinead, there's never been a 2-game winning buzzer beater scenario in the same state. Well, all right, we stay in Florida here. Final seconds of the fourth quarter, game tied at 112. Drew Holiday gets the inbound pass
Great
stolen
play by Paolo.
by Paolo Banchero. So Magic ball, 1.9 seconds left. Here's how it sounded on the broadcast.
And he'll get it into Bane. He's going to jack it off. It's up and gun. He made it. He made it. He made it. You got to be kidding me. What a game. Desmond Bane, a heave at the horn, and it was true. Stranger than fiction. It's only November. What a win.
Today, I'm not going to ask you what you heard. What did you see?
He was wildin'. Look, lesson of the day. It does not matter. It is Bane time. Whoa, I don't watch the theater stuff, but knocked it down. That was a movie, a picturesque ending for the Orlando Magic.
Hollywood ending for the Orlando Magic, who get the win here. Let's check in, though, on Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs. In Chicago last night, we picked this one up in the fourth quarter as well. Wemby went nuclear here, Brian.
I just want you to watch the people defending him and how helpless they are. They're trying. He's like, Vucevic is like, oh boy. Watch Vucevic on this play.
And then
just watch Vucevic.
About a minute left, the Spurs down. There's not much to do about that.
Damn.
Wemby pulls a 3 and hits it. Game all tied at 114. 53 seconds left. Game still tied. Wemby gets the block. And then he's in isolation at the top of the key. He lets this fly, and I yell, no! And then this happens, and I said, well, yes! Wembanyama had 18 points, 6 of 8 shooting, 5 rebounds in the fourth quarter. Shanae, how the heck are you supposed to defend that?
You guys know I call it prayer defense right here. This is the most unguardable player in the NBA. 7'5". What do you do with this? He puts your centers. Vucevic on an island, hits you with an okey-doke fadeaway 3. He had 6 threes on the night, shot 66% from 3. unguardable, unbelievable. It's Wemby's world, and we're all living in it.
Yeah, it may not be called the record book anymore. We're going to start just calling it the Book of Wemby when it's all said and done, because he got another one. This time, he's the first player in league history with 35 points, 10 boards, 5 assists, blocks, threes in a game. Insane. And last night, Victor hits a season-high 6 threes in the win. Now, this season, his attempts are way down, right? Only 4 a game, which is less than half than what he was shooting from deep last season. Is this the best version, Brian?
So what's happened over the last week is teams are sending double teams at Victor because they know he's going into the paint, and he's had a little bit of issues with that. So in this game, he changes up. And look at this. He says, there's a screen coming up. He goes, no! Don't come up here, Harrison Barnes. I don't want a double team. I'm going to play ISO basketball. That's him making an adjustment. Now, I don't think he should go back to primarily shooting threes. But if he can get an ISO situation like this where he likes his foot position, do it. It's the mixing up of the game. He doesn't want to be shooting too many threes like last season. He doesn't want to be shooting always in the paint like he was sometimes this season. He's learning to mix up his game. He just defeated the Bulls' game plan there. Drill the dagger.
This is probably one of the most rapid developments that we've seen of a player of his caliber, of his size, of his skill set ever. And I don't know, maybe because I'm hungry. I think about how Thanksgiving is right around the corner. We all know he's the main event. He's the main entree. But that stat line is truly stuffing. It's stuffing. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Last night was an insane evening of hoops. Victor Wembanyama, absolutely ridiculous. But today, the biggest story in the NBA, the Mavericks firing of Nico Harrison. Still to come after Dallas hits the reset button. Where does
this one for the future?
Well, let's talk about the now, because Luka Doncic, former Maverick, now with the Lakers, back in action last night in Charlotte, Shanae. And minutes into the first, Luka.
Okay, that play should tell you everything you need to know. That play and the wink. He was like cheeky Luka yesterday.
You like how I was trying to set it up all that? Yeah. You're like, no, this is everything you need to know. Doncic, the running floater, banks it in. 21 first-half points for Doncic, his 7th 20-point half this season, Brian.
Well, when he is comfortable, you are in trouble, and he was very clearly comfortable.
When he's smiling, when he's winking, when he's having little non-shot makes, contests.
How does he always create space? He doesn't even move that fast, Janae, but he creates space every time.
Created space here, sneaks inside for the jam. Doncic fired up after a rare dunk. He had 38 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 35 or more points in 5 of 7 games this season, by the way. Now, the Mavericks, they hosted the Bucks last night in what Giannis called multiple times a must-win. I do think this may have been Cooper's best game of the season.
That was an incredible play. He got the rebound and went down and looked for that shot. He didn't even react. That was the best moment of his career to this point.
Next Bucks possession, Ryan Rollins, who's been great for them this year, drives to the basket, finishes the layup. Bucks take the
traffic.
And then the Mavs inbounding here. Flag falls, and Kuzma steals it and dunks.
Uses the opportunity.
Can't make the gamble there. So here's a last chance for the Dallas Mavericks. PJ Washington gets the offensive rebound, shoots the 3, and is fouled by Giannis. Giannis can't believe it. So Washington's at the free throw line, and here is what it sounded like.
It'll be...
Yep, that's right. Fire Nico chant. So after Washington misses the second free throw, the Mavs fan base were chanting, and he misses this. Mavs can't get the rebound. The Bucks go on to get the win. And that loss was the final straw for Patrick Dumont and the rest of the Mavericks ownership to fire Nico Harrison as the general manager of the Dallas Mavericks. That happened earlier today. Now, in 4 seasons as GM in Dallas, Nico was the driving force behind the trading of Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis. But he also oversaw Jalen Brunson leaving in free agency, as well as acquiring Kyrie Irving. And that helped propel them to the 2024 NBA Finals. Now, you don't need to read all this. Just know that Nico was busy in his tenure as GM, but it did come at a price. The Mavericks triggered the second apron when D'Angelo Russell was signed to that tax mid-level exception. Plus, Dallas doesn't have full control of much of their future draft capital. They only have 2 available first-round picks to trade in the next 7 years. So take a photo of that, read it later. Back with us here on NBA Today is our senior reporter, Tim McMahon here. 3-8 was not the start, McMahon, to the season that the Mavericks ownership had envisioned after acquiring Cooper Flagg with that first overall pick. So why have the Dallas Mavericks made this move today?
Howdy again, Malika. Why didn't they make this move last summer? I mean, the relationship with the fans was not going to be repaired. Nico Harrison was always going to be the guy who traded Luka Doncic. And look, you want to talk about the benefit of hindsight. hindsight at the time of the trade was Luka had just led the league in scoring, averaged almost a triple-double, and took your franchise to the NBA Finals. And by the way, he was just about to enter his prime. That was something that was never going to be forgiven. It was simply a matter of time even entering this season. And then they get off to a 3-8 start. They are one of the worst offensive teams in the NBA. Oh, by the way, while Luka's leading the league in scoring, Nico Harrison could not continue to be the focal point for this fan base. Time to turn the page, time to focus on Cooper Flagg, time to focus on building around him. And as you mentioned, there are some built-in challenges because of the picks you gave up while successfully building a contender around Luka Doncic.
Right. So they gave up all of these assets. They had this fan base that was really tuned in to this organization for years and years and years, through the Dirk years, the Luka years. But that's sort of started to change here. As you can see, they finally had a change in their sellouts. 24 years consecutively, that was snapped this year, October 29th of 2025. And that, I just think, symbolizes the disconnect from this team and their fan base. So joining us now is our front office insider, Bobby Marks. Bobby, what happens now? This feels like step one. What do the Mavericks need to do next?
Yeah, I mean, full disclosure, Matt Riccardi, who is the interim GM right now, I hired him in Brooklyn, and he was my assistant there. So knowing Matt, I think there's a short and there's a long-term approach as far as how you look at this. The short term is that you're going to continue evaluating the roster. Fortunately, 6 out of your next 7 games are at home, and hopefully that you're going to get Anthony Davis back here soon. I do think there still is a priority, Malika, to try to address that point guard situation. We saw D'Angelo Russell start. We saw Brandon Williams start last night. How do you fix that leading up until December 15th? I think the biggest question for me, and you outlined it perfectly, where they are at the second apron this year, where they are with the draft equity moving forward or lack of. Does Matt and Michael Finley, who are the co-interim GMs, have authority to go out and make a big move when we get closer to the February 5th trade deadline? Remember, 90% of players will be eligible starting December 15th. I'm not saying a Luka Doncic type trade, but do they have authority to shake up this roster over the next couple months here?
Do they, Tim? I mean, when you say a big trade, what I think of and what I think Dallas Mavericks fans may be asking, is Anthony Davis someone who's on the roster? Is that the question that's being asked around Dallas right now, Tim?
I think that's the question that's going to be asked as Patrick Dumont is meeting with Michael Finley and Matt Riccardi. Also, as Patrick Dumont is interviewing other potential candidates to take the job on a full-time basis. Is there a quick fix? Let's be honest. Probably not, okay? You have to take a long-term view. You were gifted 1.8% lottery chance gifted a potential generational talent, an 18-year-old Cooper Flagg. The long-term view building around Cooper Flagg has to be the priority over any quick fixes. That 3 to 4 year window got fired today. Okay, that's gone. It never really opened. It's absolutely closed now. The long-term has to be the priority. And if you're prioritizing the long-term, your question, do you explore the trade market for Anthony Davis, has to be asked and has to be discussed.
Let's talk about 3 knowns, okay? One known is that AD and Kyrie Irving have basically not played together at all.
Yeah.
Basically relative seconds they've played together. So not only do we really not know how they match up, we don't really know what they can do this season. We don't know when Kyrie's going to come back, okay? That's number one. Number 2, as Bobby laid out, the Mavericks control their draft in just 2 of the next 7 years.
Right.
But one of them is 2026. And the third thing that we know is that this is a generational draft.
Yep.
So this is not really a conversation necessarily have in November, but as this season goes along, as you watch NBA today, what you're going to be hearing more and more of is teams beginning to struggle with what they should do with their roster looking at this draft. And I now have the Mavericks in that basket. That decision is probably not going to get made today. That decision has some unknowns because of Kyrie's health, but they are going to be a team because this is actually a draft pick that they control, and they've got an 18-year-old that is their future, who the dream would be you could put somebody next to him that is going to be on the plate of who's ever making big decisions later this season.
And you have the parent of that 18-year-old draft pick, a generational talent in Cooper Flagg, reposting things on social media about how he should not be needing to listen to fire Nico Harrison chants as he's trying to get his footing underneath him in the NBA. Now that is not going to be the case. They have fired Nico, but the decisions now are only beginning for the Dallas Mavericks, who, like you said, are having to say, okay, we're done with this 3-4 year window thing. Who is going to be the players that we need to move forward with now in order to build a contender potentially later? Gentlemen, there's a lot to get to, and you said it, Brian. We're going to be unpacking this for the next several days, but I know what we should unpack right now, and that is some highlights from around the league. Our big three last night. We had such awesome action. We saw the buzzer beaters, but how about the dunks, Shanae?
Yes.
Coming in number 3. Should we give the rookie some love?
Hey, Rook.
Walter K. Layton Jr. He finds fellow rookie Ace Bailey.
Yeah, reverse
reverse.
backwards, clean. Oh,
That's called dunking your way open.
That is true. That is true. I like it. Double clutch.
By the way, the Wolves are hot. I think they've won 5 of 6.
Number 2, how about Slam Whitmore?
Yeah.
Going baseline for the huge two-handed slam and jamma here.
Oh, man. I saw this one. I was like, what? Yeah. Not a body. A baby body.
A baby.
Yeah. You know, like, you didn't drop to the floor, but like,
itty bitty.
that was
All right, well,
one of
that's
the
number
best
2. Of course, we're doing a double whammy here. When you have a dunk and a game winner, that's going to be the number 1 play of the night.
Yes.
Andrew Wiggins, we go back. Bienvenido a Miami. I still don't know how he was.
perfect play, and I know that's like the Cavs' nightmare.
He was open by 8 to 10 feet on all sides.
Like timing, pass, everything to perfection.
And
just kiss.
the face of every single person on the Cavaliers, knowing. All right, well, that got our producers thinking of the best last fraction of a second tip-in game winners. We're going to start with Jimmy Butler, 2023. Game tied at 95. Gabe Vincent
Oh, again.
finds Butler on the inbounds pass.
Value,
Something
baby.
about Miami. You know it. One of the best nicknames. 2021
Correct.
Western Conference Finals, Game 2. 0.09 seconds left.
That scream right there.
This is all you have time for. Chris Paul, he was sick at the time. He's sitting at home screaming from his couch. And finally, 2017. 0.06 seconds left. Grizzlies Suns.
It's the physicality of the dunk.
Dragon Bender. When's the last time we said that name on this show?
Been a while.
Inbounds pass to Tyson Chandler, the slam, and
Back to NBA Today.
So this is the latest into a season. The Pistons have been in first place in 18 years. They kept it rolling last night. Let's check in. Cade Cunningham and the Pistons hosting the Wizards early in the third quarter. The Pistons up by 4. Jalen Duren, watch him here, corrals the offensive board. He's been a monster here, Shanae.
Unbelievable. I feel like Detroit might be my honorary team. You know how we always pick a team that we're rooting for because they play the right way and they've got a superstar in the making? That's that guy right there, Cade Cunningham.
What you're going to see in this highlight, Brian, is a lot of Cade Cunningham shooting
Yeah,
as well.
he shot the ball 45 times. But they were missing some guys. It was the guys
Who
were
won the
tired.
game?
He had to do it.
He did have 46 points. He also had 12 rebounds, 11 assists.
He had a great assist we're going to see in a minute.
Well, the Wizards up 3 here. CJ McCollum drives by the defender, looking spry.
Yeah, a little fine wine there.
Hits
40
the
piece.
floater.
40 piece.
42, 6 rebounds.
All right, watch this pass. There's a 7-foot guy in front of him. Just go
Bowling
past
ball.
it.
And then Dennis Jenkins.
That's
Jenkins
a two-way guy ready to shoot. Ready hands, Shanae.
Keep
It
him up.
wasn't the last time that we would see that. Shanae.
Held that follow through.
Just over 1 minute left in overtime. The Pistons down 2 here. Cunningham to Robinson.
Yeah.
Robinson nails a 3.
Yeah.
All right, so the Pistons
Look
up by
at the
1 now.
passion in Detroit.
You seeing it. Paul Reed misses the free throw. McCollum gets the rebound, pushes it down the court. McCollum drives.
Oh.
The runner.
Man, that
Doesn't get it off in time and misses. The Pistons win 137-135. How many shots did you say that Cade took?
4, 5.
4, 5. He was on one. He became the first player.
A lot
with
of dots
35
there.
points.
Teammates must really trust him and love him.
10 rebounds, 10 assists, 5 steals in a game. Since steals became official, it's safe to say he had the green light.
Lime green.
45 shots, the most in a game in Pistons history. His 31 misses, they're also the most. We're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on this. The Pistons' young duo of Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren. They are leading the way for the top team. Yes, you heard that right. In the East early on this season, they each have had 7 double-doubles, which is the most for any duo in the league this year. And half of that dynamic duo joins me now. Jalen, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with us here on NBA Today.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate it. I mean, we got 2 hard-fought close wins here, over 77 minutes played in 2 days. A little extra time in the ice bath today. How are we feeling?
Yeah, definitely a little extra time in the ice tub, but it's been good. I'm feeling good.
It's been so much fun to watch. You've been a beast, for lack of a better word, on the boards all year long here. You added 7 offensive rebounds last night, 2 off of Cade Cunningham misses. Have you ever been a part of someone taking 45 shots in a game?
No, I don't think so. That might have been the first, but I mean, we live and die with whatever decision he makes, man. That's why he's our leader. He's gotten us to this point.
I mean, is it time, do you say to JB, hey, can I get 40 shots up in a game next time?
Nah, I don't look at it like that, man. I just do my job to the best of my abilities.
Well, you've been doing your job to the best of your ability, because a big reason why your team is rolling is the pick and roll combo you got with Cade. What's been the process over the last few years building that chemistry with him?
I think it's a mixture between the bond we have and that we've been able to grow off the court. We became close friends and just getting to know each other, personally. I think that's helped our chemistry on the court, being able to talk to one another, being able to communicate through any tough decisions, any, tough situations, high intense situations in the game. And honestly, I think IQ-wise, we both have high IQ. We both, want to make the right play and the right read at all times throughout the game, and it just, it comes together.
It's been amazing to watch. It's been a heck of a journey. I think back on that 28-game losing streak you all had, and how that formed. I mean, you almost at some point, I imagine, you get used to losing, which is something you never want to have as a player. How good is that to have behind you, and how does that motivate you?
It motivates me every day. Just seeing where we started out, or where I started out, and seeing where we are now, it's motivation. It's motivation to keep going. It's motivation to know that, the work that we're putting in behind the scenes and in practice and the day-to-day is actually paying off. I'm excited for more. Like I said, we haven't done nothing yet. We've just shown that we've improved over the last couple of years, but I think as we continue to work, and like I said before, sky's the limit.
Jalen, for anyone at home who maybe said, all right, like the Pistons are on a little early, we're out here on the West Coast, or maybe I can catch the highlights a little bit later. What's your message for folks who haven't yet tuned in to Detroit basketball and what you all are building?
I would say if you haven't yet tuned in, I think you're missing out. If you are a basketball fan, if you like basketball, then I think you would love to watch us play. Tap in. We got a lot of great players, and it's still early. It's a lot more excitement left to be had.
Heck yeah, I can second that. They've been one of the most fun teams to watch all season to start this early year. Jalen Duren, we really appreciate the time. Come back anytime. We appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
On the rim, because I want to alert you to something that's going on with Giannis Antetokounmpo this season. We know the guy likes to drive the basket. He is taking it to a new level. He has 55 dunks in 11 games. 55. That's an average of 5.5 a game, okay? Shaq, the most recorded ever in history is Shaq with 3.5 a game. He's averaging 2 more than that.
Oh, my God.
All right, let's go south. Obviously, you think I'm going to be talking about Wemby when we talk about San Antonio.
Oh, we're building the castle.
We're going to talk about the guy who's getting overlooked a little bit here, Stephon Castle. Last 3 games, guys, he has 37 assists.
Oh.
And De'Aaron Fox is coming.